Okay, hi. Good evening, everyone. Hope my voice is audible for online students. Online. Yes, perfect. So I hope yesterday you discussed about routing, routing protocols, what kind of protocols you can use, and you also discussed about BGP. And we discussed about what? We started with TCP and UDP. In that, we saw what are the different protocols of TCP and UDP. And then we saw about TCP flags. Yes, TCP flags. And we have TCP three-way handshake, which is important. And then we have TCP port numbers. So we'll first discuss about TCP three-way handshake, and then we'll go with TCP port numbers. So TCP three-way handshake. So TCP three-way handshake, what does it mean? Say yesterday we discussed about this. Whenever you are accessing any website from your computer, when you type google.com or when you type abc.com in your browser, what is the first packet which goes out of your computer? Yeah, it's an empty packet. It's an empty packet with a SYN flag set. So we have a synchronous flag set here. And in case if the server is okay for your communication, if it is accepting your communication, what is the return packet which you'll get? Acknowledge. So here it is going to be SYNACK. SYNACK, which means for the synchronous packet, what you have sent, we have received an acknowledgement. So that is called SYNACK. And after that, we'll be sending an acknowledgement. Fine. Only after this, what happens? The website data from here will start loading. After this, 3 packets have been transferred. And this is called three-way handshake. So three-way handshake, which means after initial completion of transmitting these 3 packets, only then website starts to load. So something like this, where I give google.com, I type google.com, enter. Before google.com page opens, what should have happened in the background? In the background, I should have got these 3 packets to be exchanged. SYN packet, SYNACK, and acknowledge. Yes. After this, the website application data will start loading in my browser. This is called TCP three-way handshake. Whenever you visit any website you visit, this is the initial communication mechanism which happens. So we can explain TCP three-way handshake like this. Three-way handshake, initial communication mechanism that happens between 2 communicating devices before initiating communication process. Before you initiate communication process, this initial handshake mechanism happens. Only after this, the communication will start. Now coming to TCP port numbers. Now, during your first day session, you should have discussed about ports. Computers have 2 different ports. So types of ports in computers, we have physical ports and we have logical ports. Physical ports are something which you can see with your naked eye. What ports do we have? Ports we have HDMI port, we have VGA port, you have USB port. These are ports which you can see with your eyes. These ports are called physical ports. Now, logical ports are something which we can't see. So coming to port numbers, if someone is asking you what is port number, you can just start with this port. What is a port? Port is an entry or exit point. It's an entry or exit point. Airport, seaport, entry or exit point. In computers, we have different protocols, and all these different protocols use different port numbers. Let me go for this home plan. Let me take Okay, we'll take this. We'll take this home plan, image. So considering this to be a home, this to be a home, and how many entry and exit points do we have for your home here? This is your main entrance. This is your main entrance, and this is your main exit, main door. So do we have only one entry or exit point? No, we have multiple entry or exit points. You have a window here, which is an entry or exit point. Another window here, which is an entry or exit point. This, we have multiple entry and exit points here. Now, assuming this home to be a computer, assume this home to be a computer, and we are humans. We are protocols here. We are protocols inside this computer. Now, what protocols are we? We are HTTPS protocols. HTTP and HTTPS protocols. Yes, we have these protocols. And you have all these houseflies, mosquitoes. These protocols, they are FTP protocols. Yes. So as humans, we use this entry and exit point. Yes. This is how you enter your home. You use this entry point and use this entry point to go out. You use this particular port. Likewise, when you open the window, houseflies, mosquitoes come out and go inside like this. Do we humans use any window to come inside your home? No, we are not using that. As protocols, every protocol uses a particular port to send and receive traffic. Fine. Every protocol, HTTPS, it sends and receives traffic through this particular port. FTP, it sends and receives traffic through this particular port. Why does this happen? This happens mainly to avoid congestion. We don't want packets to collide with each other and to create a loss. So we create separate channels for different protocols to send and receive traffic. Again, assuming we have a user here who sits in your computer, opens the browser. He opens the browser and he types google.com. He types google.com. Now what happens? As HTTPS protocols, we get activated. We go out, we reach internet, and we reach Google server. We come back and we enter inside to this system through this port, and Google page opens for him. Perfect. He downloads something. This person is downloading something. Now what happens? FTP protocols gets activated. They send and receive traffic through this particular port. Yes. So port is an entry or exit point, and every protocol uses a particular port number, port to send and receive traffic. And that port is assigned a number, which is called port number. So when someone asks you what do you mean by port number, tell them in computers we have two different types of ports. One is physical port and logical port. Physical port example, we have HDMI, VGA, these kind of ports. And logical ports are something which we can't see with our eyes. But a port is an entry or exit point. And every protocol in the sense it can be HTTP protocol, it can be HTTPS, can be SMB, it can be IMAP, it can be any protocol, POP, it can be any protocol, FTP. So every protocol, it is going to use a particular port to send and receive traffic, and that port is assigned a number which is called port number. And say, for example, this particular port here, I assign a number called 443 for HTTPS. So HTTPS port number is 443. FTP port number is 20 and 21. For HTTP, the port number is 80. Like this, for every protocol, you have a port number. Now, why are we concerned about these port numbers for security? I'll tell you this reason. Okay. Again, this to be your home. This is your main entrance. Now, what happens is this. This is come inside your home. He's coming down to your home. He's having a close look at your home. Why? Because he is looking for any window which is open or any way through which he can enter inside your home. Likewise, an attacker who is going to attack a domain abc.com, or an attacker who is going to what do you? An attacker who is going to attack an IP address like this. Initially, what he is going to perform? He is going to perform a scan on your domain name or on your IP address. Why? He is going to find open ports. He will try to find open ports. Why? Because only if a port is open, only through that, anyone from outside can enter inside your network, and the traffic from inside your network can go out. So an attacker's main objective is this. He is going to find open ports for any domain name or an IP address. He is going to hack a website. The first thing what he does is going to perform a scan. When a port is closed, okay, assuming here, if this port is closed, now what will happen? HTTPS is closed here. This port is closed. Now, if this user here, if he tries to access google.com, will he be able to access google.com? No. Why? If that door is closed, will he be able to go outside? No. Likewise, if he is trying to access google.com, traffic from inside, it will not be able to go outside. So it says page cannot be displayed. Yes. So if a port is closed, traffic from inside cannot go outside, and traffic from outside it cannot come inside. That is why for servers, admins can only open ports which are needed and close all other ports. Why? If a port is not needed and if the port is open, then probably what can happen? An attacker can attack through the open port. So that is port number. And how many ports do we have? We have total 65,535 ports. 65,535 ports. I hope you know HTTP port number is 18, HTTPS port number is 443, and we have SMB which is 139. What is SMB protocol? SMB is called server message block. Server message block, it is used inside a network to share resources. Inside your network, you have computers. You have 50 computers here, which is connected to a switch and to a router. Perfect. In case if you have a printer here, you should have seen this. Any user from this computer, if he gives print, he'll get a printout here. Have you seen this? Normally in a corporate structure, office environment, from any computer, you sit and give a print command, you'll get a printout here. How? That is because this printer as a resource, it is shared among all these computers. As a resource, it is shared among all these computers via which protocol? Via server message block SMB protocol, and it is port number 139. And you are able to access websites. You are able to access HTTPS websites via which port number? Via 443. HTTP is port number 80, and FTP is port number 2021. You have, for every protocol, you have a specific port number. The more number of port numbers you remember, the more good it is. Yes, so this is something about port numbers. Now, let us see. Let us go for actual security practice. For that, we need an operating system, and that operating system is called as Kali Linux. We are going to install Kali Linux, not in your base system, but we are going for a technique which is called as virtualization. Virtualization technique, we have shared a software called VirtualBox in your
Google Drive. There is a software called VirtualBox. You have to install this software. After installing the software, in this software, you have to install what is called Kali Linux. Why the name Kali Linux? Indian God as Kali. Why the operating system name is Kali Linux? Is it based on our Indian God as Kali? Yes, it is based on Indian God Kali. If you look at this, do you see anything peaceful in this goddess? No. What mode does this goddess standing in? What is the pose? This is an attacking pose God is standing in. Look at the bottom here. The goddess has attacked someone and a murder here. Lot of attacking equipment here. So resembling that, based on this, we have named this operating system called Kali Linux. It is an offensive operating system used for attacking purpose. So you can't do something very peaceful with this operating system. Signifying that it is an operating system used for attacking purpose, hence the name Kali Linux. So VirtualBox, it's a very simple process to install VirtualBox. So once if you install VirtualBox, let us check to the display settings here. It's very small. See this? No. Okay, we'll leave that. So this is the interface of VirtualBox. When you install this, probably you will not have anything here. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to click on new. When you click on new, you can type. There is nothing much to configure here. We'll type the name of the operating system, which is Kali Linux. I'll type Kali. And when you go here, this is the type of operating system. You have to choose Linux. You don't have to configure anything else. Type the name of the operating system. This is any name which you can give here, Kali. And the type of the operating system is Windows is there. You have to go for Linux. And this is Linux. And click on next. Next. You don't have to change anything here. Leave this to default. Everything is by default. Click on next. 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 Perfect. Now we have Kali Linux here. You have this operating system called Kali Linux. Now what you'll have to do from the drive, you have uploaded the OS of Kali Linux. Kali Linux ISO file, we have uploaded this. So now you'll have to download that to your system. And what you'll have to do is, you'll have to do one little configuration here. Go to network. Go to network here. And in network, you'll have two different options. One is NAT, other one is bridge adapter. So you'll have to change it to bridge adapter. Bridge adapter, why? Because I will tell you the reason later. We need Kali Linux and our Windows operating system to be in the same LAN. So I'm changing this to bridge adapter. So you don't have to do any other configuration. Just click OK and now click start. When you click start, the OS starts. And now it is going to ask for ISO file, which you have downloaded from the Google Drive. So click on the drop-down menu, choose other. And now I have this Kali Linux file here. It is Kali Linux 2024 live AMD 64.iso. I'll choose this file and I'll click mount and retype boot. That's it. So now you have Kali Linux here. Click enter, which is for live system. Enter and OS boots. And why Kali Linux OS? Because Kali Linux has 300 plus inbuilt softwares and other softwares which you can integrate and install in Kali Linux, which is much easier for us to perform any type of attack, whatever we want. So we are going for this operating system called Kali Linux. Whereas in Windows, you don't have any tools for attacking purpose. And any tool which you download from internet probably that is going to be a virus. So using a specific operating system like this is going to help you. Okay, now our console is very small. In case if you want to make it bigger screen, a big screen of this, press right control and C. Right control button plus C, you'll get this option and maximize this. So this is your operating system, and when you look at this operating system, you have all these inbuilt tools. These tools are inbuilt, and you can use any of these tools based on your objective. So a lot of interesting tools which are inbuilt. We'll be using few of these tools for our security purpose. I'll tell you what tools we use. Now, once this is your lab environment which you are going to set up, and the reason for going for virtualization is this. Why are we going for virtualization? This is your Windows operating system. This is your laptop. This is your Windows operating system, Windows 11, and you have installed VirtualBox in this. And inside this VirtualBox, you're installing Kali Linux. And this is your Kali machine. We have many different options to install Kali Linux in Windows, but virtualization is one of the safest ways. Why? You are going to perform a lot of different things in Kali. And if something bad happens, you are testing a malware, and this Kali Linux got infected with virus. Now what happens? This stays inside VirtualBox. Your host operating system will always be safe. So you can try whatever you want inside the virtualization environment. That is why it is called as sandbox environment. Sandbox environment because you can try whatever you want and nothing will happen to your host operating system. This is your host operating system, and this you call it as a guest operating system. And if something goes wrong, I can only right click on it and click on remove, the OS gets deleted. Very simple. Right? Now, having said this, we'll move on. We'll try to understand this specific network security attack which can happen in the network, which is DOS. Not about DDoS, but DOS. I hope we all know what DOS is. Denial of service. I discussed yesterday what a DOS attack can do. A DOS attack can literally bring down a server. Now, what we are going to learn is this. We'll be using certain tools which can perform this DOS attack, not real-time attacks on any real-time servers. Just to understand how DOS attack works, we are going to learn few commands here. The first basic command what we are going to learn is ping. What do you mean by ping? Ping is used to check connection status. Okay, if I go to my command prompt, we check with the IP detail what you have gone. Okay, IP config. My IP address is this 192.168.1.101. What is my gateway IP address? What will be my gateway IP address? Gateway IP address is 192.168.1.1. What will be my network ID? 1.0, 192.168.1.0. Now, in case if I wanted to check if my router is working or not, 1.1, enter, I get a reply from my router, which means, yes, my router is working. So ping is used to check whether the connection is alive or not, whether the device is working or not. It's a very simple utility. If I type ping, give me any college website name. We'll take Karunya.edu, enter. Now I'm getting a reply from Karunya, which means it is working. Ping, kct.ac.in. I'm getting a reply from KCT, which means it is working. So ping is used to check if the server or if the device is working or not. Now, what is the abbreviation of ping? Ping stands for packet, internet, gropper. Packet internet gropper is the abbreviation of ping. What do you mean by gropper? What is gropper? Gropper Grouper is an Australian shallow water fish. Grouper is an Australian shallow water fish. It lives in Australia, Australian shallow waters, and it doesn't have eyes. It doesn't have eyes. So why grouper to ping is because how does this fish hunt for its food? It will go randomly in water like this. And if it hunts for any food, it will take this food and will come back. This is how it hunts for food because it doesn't have any eyes. Just like that, when you type ping command in your computer, this is your computer and you type ping abc.com. Now what happens? As discussed yesterday, every computer communication happens in the form of packets. And a packet which goes out of your computer, it will have internet. It will go to internet and it will search for what? It will search for abc.com. It will search in different places. In case if it is able to find abc.com, it will bring you back the reply. Just like Grouper. It is going to search randomly for food, and if it finds any food, it is going to bring back the reply. Fine, that is why ping packet internet Grouper. Now, understanding ping, what we can use, we'll try to understand how this ping command works. Working behind ping command, this being the server, this is your computer. Ping uses this protocol which is called as ICMP protocol. ICMP protocol, and when I give ping google.com, when I give ping google.com, what happens in the background is this. I give ping google.com, enter. Okay, we'll give some other site. Ping. Yeah. Okay. Ping. Okay, ping my router 192.168.1.11. Enter. Now I'm pinging my router. How many packets I get? How many replies I get? I get 4 replies. I get 4 replies, which means I have sent 4 packets. I've sent, whenever you give this command called ping google.com, I should have sent 4 packets from my computer, and these 4 packets are called what? These are ICMP echo request. These packets are called ICMP echo request. It is like calling out someone's name. What's your name? Shivashankar. I'm calling out to you. Shivashankar, are you there? Are you there? Are you there? If he is there, he'll reply me back. Yes, sir, I'm here. Because I have called him 4 times, so I'm getting 4 replies. Shivashankar, yes, I'm here. So these packets are called ICMP echo replies. And we won't be able to see the 4 requests which we have sent, but we'll be able to see the 4 replies which we have got. These are the 4 replies which you have got, and we are able to see this. Yes? Now, what we can do is, see, these are like calling out to a server and checking if it is there or not. And if you send 4 packets, perfectly fine. The server is sending you 4 replies. And what is the size of all these packets? We have 22 bytes. So the size of the packets can be this. So the number of packets, what you have sent is 4. Size of the packet. Size of the packet can be 32 bytes. It can be 64. Can be greater than that. Now this is a normal ping command working. Now, how is it related with DOS command? DOS, we can try DOS command, can try DOS attack with a simple ping command and see if it is working or not. I will increase the number of packets from 4 to 1 lakh. So I'm not going to send 4 packets. I can send 1 lakh packets, and size of the packets, I'll increase it to 64,000 maximum. So these are not any small packets. Small packets and 4 packets. No, we are changing this scenario to what? To a larger number of packets and bigger number of packets. Now, if a server is really weak, nowadays no server will be weak like this. If the server is weak for a ping command with DOS attack, then that's not a server, but just for our understanding. I can't show you real-time attack of DOS and ask it is. I can't say that it is for educational purpose. Please don't try this. I know you obviously will try. So just for your understanding, I'll show you what a ping command can do to a server in case it is weak. Now, in this scenario, you can try with your computer, with any other computer which is in your LAN. So what I'm going to do here is this. Instead of giving ping, and 190.168.1.1. Instead of leaving this, what I can do is I increase. This is -L. This is not I. This is -L, which stands for length of the packet. So the length of the packet, I'm going to change this to 64,000. And -N is the number of packets. Number of packets, I'll increase it to 1 lakh. Yes, I'll increase this to 1 lakh. And if I send this to my, you can send this to my router, or I can check this with any other domain. I'll say I'll send it to google.com. So now google.com, when it receives a packet from my computer, it is receiving this packet. Google.com. Previously, it received 4 packets of 32 bytes. Google.com was okay. It was just an ICMP packet, perfectly fine. But now, it is how many packets? It is 1 lakh packets. And the size of the packets is 64,000. Obviously, we know Google's infrastructure. So it should have got a firewall, which is receiving all these packets. In case if your target has a firewall, and if it receives an unusual traffic like this, what will happen? What will it do? How will the firewall react? It will block all the packets. It will block all the packets, and now you won't get a reply from. This time you won't get reply from, but instead you'll get request timed out. So you get this reply. How many times? You get this reply 1 lakh times. It says request timed out, request timed out. Yes, which means your packets are not accepted by your target server, and your target server has a security device in place, and that device is blocking all your packets. You got this? Or you might also get this destination host unreachable, which means they have blocked your IP. Destination host unreachable or request timed out. Now let us send this to google.com. Enter. Say general failure. Okay. It says it is sending with 64,000 bytes, and it says request timed out. Yes. Now what you have to do is this. In case you can choose any domain, and if you get a reply from, what does that mean? They have not got a security device in place, or even if they have got a security device in place, they have not configured the packet properly. So it is not filtering out the packets what we have sent, and we are getting a reply. So out of this ping command, there are 2 things which you can make out. Okay, let me stop this. Control C and it stops. Ping. So I'm going to send this ping -L. It's going to be 64,000. -N is going to be 1 lakh. And this is going to be a target.com. And output 1. Output 1, in case if you get reply from. If this is your output. Now what does it mean? It means your target security devices are not configured properly to handle our request. Request, which indirectly means it's a weaker architecture. It's a weaker infrastructure. Your target is a weaker infrastructure. Output 2, in case if you get request timed out, or in case if you get destination host unreachable. Now what does it mean? Your target security devices are good, and it's a not a very strong infrastructure, but it's a So good infrastructure. Good secure infrastructure. Fine. So based on these two outputs, you can find out this. Now, what you can do is you can actually ping is a very old command to actually test this to check if it is increasing or not, if it is having any impact on the server or not. Usually, what happens is for a real-time DOS attack, you might go to a site like this. Is it down right now.com? There is a site called isitdownrightnow.com. This website, what it does is you can give any of your, we are not going to try this, but just for an example, here in this, abc.com. This is abc.com and not with ping command, with actual DOS attack. How we can check the impact of this attack? We have used some tool to perform this DOS attack on abc.com. Before performing this attack, before starting this attack, check the response here. We'll check facebook.com's response. If assuming this is abc.com's response. Now, what is the response time? Response time of our target website is 15.13 milliseconds. Means it is taking 15.13 milliseconds for us to respond back. 15.13 milliseconds before an attack has commenced. Now, start this attack, not ping command. In actual practice, if someone is performing a DOS attack, to check if it has got any impact on the server, they'll start the attack, and after some time, they'll check the response time, and for the impact to happen, the response time should it increase or decrease? Response time should increase. Say 15.13 milliseconds will turn to 2 seconds, will turn to 5 seconds, and after some time it will say page can't be displayed, which means the DOS attack has worked. Which literally means you are increasing the working capacity of the server, or you are increasing the CPU usage of the server. In plain text, what happens when your computer CPU usage reaches 100%? Your computer will freeze. Likewise, if you are able to increase a CPU percentage of any device, then indirectly you are performing a DOS attack. Right? So with ping, yes, ping is a very basic command which you can use, and there is another command which is called as hping3. hping3 has many different possibilities with which you can use, and we can test this. So what we are going to do here is this. Listen to this carefully. In your virtual box, we'll also upload this operating system called just give me 1 minute. We go for this admin sheet. I'll share you the admin sheet now. Audio is not clear. Audio, video, okay. Nice. Please fill the admin sheet. Okay, this is what we are going to do now. Here, this is your laptop which has Windows machine, and I've already shared you Kali Linux and VirtualBox. So you're installing VirtualBox in your Windows, and in your VirtualBox, you're going to install what? This is Kali machine. This is Kali Linux, and you can also install, just for this practice purpose, we are going to install Windows 7 machine. Yes. And after installing, the only network configuration, what you will be doing is you go to network and you change the network configuration from bridge, from NAT to bridge adapter. So that my IP address is 192.168.1.104. My Kali Linux IP, okay, let me check my IP address. This 1.101. So my IP address, Windows machine IP address is 1.101. And let me go to my Kali Linux. The username is Kali and the password is Kali. Kali. I'll go here. I'll check the IP address of my Kali machine. That is ifconfig, enter. And the IP address of my Kali machine is 192.168.1.106. In case if it is in LAN, close this. Kali machine IP address is 192.168.1.106. In case if it is in NAT, my IP address will be something like 10.0.0.2. I don't want this to happen. I want my Windows machine and Kali Linux to be in the same LAN, and that is why I'm going for bridge adapter. Yes. Again, to change this configuration, you have to go to network option here, go to network option, click on network, and you have bridge adapter here and click OK. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do here, and also you can also install Windows 7. We'll share you the ISO file or you can download from internet, and you can install the same in VirtualBox. After installing, let me turn on Windows 7 machine. This is my Windows 7 machine. Windows 7, okay. I'll check the IP address of my Windows 7 machine. The IP address, IP config. The IP address of my Windows 7 machine is 192.168.1.104. This is the IP address of my Windows machine. So let me go here. One 192.168.1.104. Now what I'm going to do here is this. I'm going to use hping command, hping3 from Kali Linux, and I'm going to give this as my target. And in Windows 7, let me turn on my task manager and I'll have a look at my CPU usage. CPU usage. Whenever I'm performing this attack, the CPU usage will have an impact, it will rise. And whenever I stop, it will turn 0. Because in Windows 7, I'm not doing anything, not opening any browser, not running any tools, it is going to be idle. When it is idle, CPU usage is going to be 0. But when I start this attack, we have an impact in the CPU usage. This is a scenario which can happen between an attacker and an actual server which can exist. The tools which they are going to use will be different. We can't discuss the actual tools what they are going to use, but in case if this architecture is weak, it can be vulnerable to a lot of different types of DOS attack like this. So let me go here. Kali Linux, and the Windows is what? 1.104. Perfect. You go to Kali Linux, and in Kali Linux, let me type hping. I'll type hping3. hping3, I'll say -c. -c is the number of packets. How many number of packets you want? I'll type 1 lakh packets. And I'll say -d. -d is the Windows size. -d is the data size. How much of data you want? We'll also increase this to 40,000. This is the data size. And -s. What is -s? I'm telling hping3, all these packets should be sync packets. Now, I hope you understand the importance of flags. Wherever you go, you get flags. Flag will be always used. -s, which is for sync packets. -w is actually the window size. We'll leave it to default. And we'll use -p. And for this Windows 7 machine, port number 139 will always be open. Port number 129, which is SMB, will be open. I'm targeting this. If it is a web server, I may use port number 80 or 443. But since it is a Windows machine, I'll use 139. And I'm going to flood the packets. Tag flood, --flood, which means send all the packets, but don't show me any replies. I hope you should have seen here. When we gave Google.com, we got request time, we get 1 lakh replies. Now I'm telling hping, I don't want to see any of these replies. Just send the packets and show me the output. I don't want to see any reply packets. And I'm giving a random source. I'm hiding my IP address and I'm asking HPN command to use random source address to send all these packets. So now send it from my packet from my IP address. Instead, use random IP address and I have 190.168.1.104. Yes, 104 is the IP address of my Windows machine. Perfect. So now let me go to my Windows machine. This is my Windows machine. Yes. We'll stop all background applications here. This is bad blue server. We'll stop this. Exit. This task manager. And this is a Kali machine here. Now see what happens. Now what is the CPU percentage there? CPU is 0. CPU is 0. Whenever I initiate this command, CPU goes up. I'll stop this. CPU comes down. You see what I'm doing here? I'm trying to utilize the CPU percentage of a particular machine. So whenever you increase overuse, the system automatically becomes slow. That is what happens to your system as well. When you use Photoshop or when you use a bigger level application, all other applications will get will freeze. Similarly, if you can automate this process and if you can increase the CPU percentage of any other device, I will do this again. This and enter. Again, it increases. Again, it will stop. Stop, it increases again. Fine. This is a miniature version of what and how a DOS attack can happen and how you can use simpler devices like this. See, understanding a tool is not going to help you in getting a job. Please understand that. If you are curious to learn about DOS attack or anything about ethical hacking or cyber security, network security, what is the first thing which you do? You go to YouTube. You go to YouTube and you search about DOS attack. You will get thousands of videos. And you will search, obviously search for a video which is less than 5 minutes. Why? Because you don't have patience. Will you sit and watch a video for 45 minutes to understand DOS attack? Kandipa. We will always look for a video which is less than 5 minutes. You will watch this video. You will observe two things. One, what tool he has used. Second thing, how he has used. Now, what he will do as a user, as a happy user who has learned hacking, you will go to a system, you will implement these two things. How you have used, you will not test in your own server, you will test in someone else's server, and if this attack succeeds, you will be happy. Okay, I've learned DOS attack. And again, you learn 10 techniques like this from YouTube, and these 10 techniques. See, these are just techniques and tools what you have learned. With these 10 techniques, you can surprise your friends, you can threaten your friends, but with these 10 techniques, you will never ever get a job. Why? Because you know what is happening in the background. No company will ask you, do you know how to perform a DOS attack? Can you perform a DOS attack? No, they're not going to ask you that. They'll ask you how this attack happens. How this attack happens and what is the working behind this attack. Simply they can ask you this ping command. Tell me what is happening in the background. They will not ask you, okay, what is the use of ping command? They will ask you what is happening in the background. You have to start from ICMP protocol, the 4 requests what you have sent, the 4 replies what you have got, and the size of the packets, and whatever other parameters are there in ping. You have to answer this. This proves that you are technically strong. Not that I know to use this tool, I know to use this tool, and this tool give me a job. No. Very sorry. So you should know how it is done, what is the working behind that, and what are the mitigations. What do you mean by mitigations? Mitigations means how to stop this. What are the countermeasures? if it is for a web server, if it is for a server, and you wanted to stop a smaller level DOS attack or any kind of attacks like this, you should have a web application firewall, or should have a firewall, or you should have a IDS and IPS in place so that it is going to inspect all these packets. Again, from day one, we have started like this. I told you computer communication happens in the form of packets. Yes, whatever you do, it happens in the form of packets. Again, you learn about any security aspect, these packets will play a key role. You have to understand how these packets work. And I know you won't believe these packets. Why? Because unless and until you see these packets, you won't believe, no, we won't believe computer communication happens in packets. We will also look at a tool in which we can see how this is happening. And as I've shown, the three-way handshake. Three-way handshake, we'll use this tool in our computer. We'll visit a website and I'll show you. See, this is three-way handshake. This is the SYN packet, what you have sent, SYNAC, what you have received, and acknowledgement, what you have sent. And after that, you get a lot of packets from the server. We'll look at this with the tool and we'll examine this tool, we'll analyze the packets, and we'll go like this. Right? So, for your assignment today, you have to install VirtualBox. Again, this is your Windows machine. Download VirtualBox from the Google Drive, what we are going to share now, and install VirtualBox. That's a very simple process. In VirtualBox, install Kali Linux, the OS which we have shared. In VirtualBox, install Windows 7. Windows 7, Kali Linux. Check the IP address of all the three devices. They should have the same network ID or different network ID. Same network ID. All the network ID should be, see, for me it was like 1.0. For you it might be different. But all should be in the same network. The command for here is ifconfig to check the IP address. And this is ipconfig, you should be knowing this. Now, what happens is open task manager here. Task manager in Windows 7. Open terminal in here. Type the hpin command. And just like how I have shown, with both this and this, type the IP address, type the command, and when this increases, when the CPU increases, take a screenshot. And even if when you're taking screenshot, the CPU percentage doesn't increase, it doesn't matter. What actually matters is you being able to install Kali Linux and Windows 7 in VirtualBox and actually pinging them. That really matters because we are going to do different assignments based on this. Yes. And for this assignment, yes, for installing two operating systems, you should have at least 8 GB of RAM with i5 or i7 processor. If it is less than that, then best luck. Try and see if it is working or not. Fine, and you'll have to submit a screenshot of this. If you didn't find that one, okay. Yes, so complete this and tomorrow we'll teach you about switch. I hope you understand the continuity of the classes, what is going on here. Thursday, you started with the IP address. You understood what is IP address. You understood public IP address and private IP address and then network IDs. Then we started with protocols. We started with TCP and UDP. Then we started routing to understand the basics of routers. And then today, again, we started with port numbers and three-way handshake and basics of what DOS attack is and what different techniques we have and how we are going to implement this and how this is going to impact the server in a much simpler way so that you can understand. Yes, we'll meet tomorrow then. Thank you.